Hey guys, I did it. I fell down the rabbit hole of vintage pens. I wasn't quite sure where to even start with looking at vintage pens, and I happened to be watching Mary Hodges' video one day. She was sharing her collection of vintage pens, and that led me to somebody, a site that she had mentioned, Tim's Vintage Pens. And on his site, he had quite a collection of Esterbrook vintage pens, which then just the light bulb went off, and it made complete sense to me because I'm a huge fan of Esterbrook pens. I actually only have one right now because I'm trying a little bit of everything, but it was my first one, and it is the first fountain pen that I fell in love with. So it just made total sense to me to go that route in vintage pens. So then I started watching some videos on YouTube. There's quite a bunch out there. You can Google that for yourself. But one that I particularly liked was What I Ink, and he did like a whole series on the Esterbrook vintage pens. And then I went back to Tim's Vintage Pens, and I bought this pen about a month ago, so I wanted a little time to not be so anxious about using it, first of all, because it is vintage. And I was, you think of vintage and you think it's so frail, and you're almost afraid to touch it, but it's quite a sturdy pen. And there's a whole series of them. There was the dollar pen, which came out first, which was I think in the late 30s, and there was the transitional, and the caps were different, the end caps were different. Some had a plastic jewel on one end, not the dollar pens, the transitional pens, and some had dual caps. I opted for the transitional J. This is actually the shorter model, which I believe, let me grab a ruler, is, I believe that's 4 and, this one's 4.5. Yeah, this one's 4.5. I think the regular transitional, not the short model, is 4 3/4. I don't know. I could be wrong, so you can Google those facts for yourself. But the reason I bought it was because this gorgeous copper color. This was I just love this pen so much. I love rust colors. I love dark greens. I love jewel tones. So when I saw this, I knew this right away that this beauty was going to be mine. So it has the little clip, I'm sorry, it has the clip here at the end, the little plastic jewel top here. It has a 3-band ring here, which is really pretty. I've actually now ordered a second Esterbrook vintage pen from Tim's. It's actually on its way right now. It is one of the dollar pens. That's a term that wasn't given to it by Esterbrook. It was just, by the community and people. They called it the dollar pen because you could get them for $1. Imagine that. You can't get anything for $1 anymore. So, and it has the lever here with the, oh, you can hear that. You can hear a little squeak on the inside. It has the sack on the inside, very easy to fill and to clean out. And it's not the, here, it's 1, 2, 3 turns. Oop, gotta clean that nib. 3 turns to unscrew it. I just filled it, that's why, and I was playing with the lever. It's not the original nib that came with it, because that would have made it really rare and really ridiculously expensive. It is an Esterbrook nib though, and it is a 9668, which is a firm medium nib, but I think it writes pretty fine as compared to today's medium nibs. I find a lot of them very sort of like juicy and flowy, and this is a lot, my handwriting is a lot smaller and measured, but that's what I found with it so far. You can post it on the end. Oh, and on here, you can't see it, so I'm going to have to post pictures of it afterwards. But it says, yeah, you're not going to be able, it's not going to be able to pick it up on camera. I had to blow it up. The name Esterbrook is stamped into the side of it, and you can feel it slightly when I'm holding it. So you just think about all of the, and this is plastic, but you can think about, you know, the hands that wrote it with, you know, wrote with this before it for so many years that the name was almost completely worn off from years of use, which I kind of think adds to the really cool vibe of it. Oops, a little ink right there. I'm getting ink all over my hands. So let's see, what else did I need to tell you about this? Yeah, I like writing with it. I did some writing this weekend. I'm going to cover up some of my personal stuff here. And I did a few pages here in my paper blanks book. And I guess I'll do a writing sample right now. Okay. So this is, whoops. I'm still in my pajamas. Oh, this sleeve is killing me. I really love this nib. I'm so used to writing with a larger nib, but I don't know, something about this nib. Even though it's a firm medium, it is not scratchy. I mean, you could hear it a little bit on the paper, but it's smooth. I don't know how to describe it. Let's see, this was the Esterbrook Transitional J. It's the short model. And the nib is a 9668 nib. And this pen is from somewhere in the 1946 to 1959. And, whoops. The ink is Light Artisan Havana. I love my sepia colored inks. This is the ink that I have it filled with right now. And I'm going to show you a writing sample. So you can see, am I holding in my M frame here? It's hard to see because the camera's like upside down here. And again, this is the little beauty. And the coloring and the shading on here is so pretty. Sorry for the ink all over my hands. And I'll insert a picture at the end so you could see the Esterbrook logo where it's sort of worn off. Yeah, it's like right there. Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Have a great day, guys.